The Kardashian-Jenner clan has always been a part of the news for one reason or another. While most of the family members are known for their controversial actions, relationships, and breakups, Kendall Jenner has made it to the news for a completely different reason. Kendall Jenner frees the nipples safely. I know what you're thinking, but stick with us and see what this is all about. Number 5. Kendall Jenner. Kendall Jenner on Life. In a podcast with Jay Shetty, Kendall Jenner described how she craves for small things in life. Talking about how she took inspiration in her early days, she drew a contrast between herself and her little sister Kylie. According to her, Kylie had always been the social butterfly, whereas she liked to keep things to herself, which probably would have been difficult for her as she entered the world of fame and glamour. Although she had a group of friends, she preferred to be by herself over the weekends and in between school. She described herself as a nerd who liked staying in her room and playing video games. When summer came, she would then move to spend some time with her horses. As a kid, these things would bring her joy, and she doesn't have a huge explanation for it, as she just found happiness in small things and craves them. She describes her childhood as being the building period for her and made her what she is today. When the pandemic came around and everyone was forced to distance themselves from others, Kendall has finally found her true self back, as she's been conditioned to stay around people due to her work, which is something that the pandemic changed. Number 4. Kendall Jenner on setting boundaries. Talking about how spirited and determined she's always been about the things she wanted in her life, Kendall described that she was only 14 when she decided to become a model. She had it all planned out in her head, so she went to her mother and asked her to help her out with her dream. From the age of 14 to 24, she didn't stop until she realized she could take a step back, which again is a dramatic story according to Jenner. She stated that she's proud of the kid she used to be and the determination she had to achieve and execute her plans as she did. However, what made her prouder is the self-work that she has done over the years. In the core 5 years of her phenomenal career, she wasn't the happiest because she overworked and overwhelmed, although she was in a profession that she really loved. She was also constantly saying yes to everything as she felt grateful and honored. That's something that took a lot from her and encouraged her to set boundaries for herself. A year before the pandemic, she realized that she wanted to do what she loved but had to set boundaries so that she could achieve happiness through it. This is probably also when she finally found her voice that she's using today. Number 3. Kendall Jenner frees the nipples. While there is a rise in such things, Kendall Jenner walked on a show back in 2014 for Marc Jacobs where she wore a sheer sweater which gave rise to a lot of controversy. This was her first high fashion runway and surely set the tone for her character. How did she find herself in that situation, you might ask? Well, in her own words, I remember getting a call from my agent saying that Mark and Katie, who was the stylist, wanted to put me in this kind of sheer top, and I was like, I'm game. I don't mind. I'm all good with the nipple, Kendall said. It didn't make me any more nervous. I genuinely was like, dope. Whatever they want, it's their vision, let's do it. For more such videos, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon so you never miss out on the latest updates and notifications. Number 2, what was on her mind during that? In a conversation with Vogue, as she broke down her look, she stated that weirdly enough, she didn't have any pre-show jitters for that particular show. Her agents informed her what the stylist of the show wanted, and she said she was game and didn't mind it at all. Moreover, she stated that she was pretty chill and wasn't nervous at all. According to Kendall, the fact that it was her very first fashion show and it was with none other than the famous Marc Jacobs thrilled her. I actually couldn't believe I was there. I was pretty chill, even though my boobies were out, Kendall explained. Number 1, how did freeing the nipple affect her career? Sure, the specific catwalk was Kendall's first experience with freeing the nipple, but that doesn't mean she's not sophisticated when it comes to fashion. You can definitely believe that Kendall is a fashion guru as seen by her get-ups during events like the Met Gala as well as the Cannes Film Festival. Besides that, it wasn't freeing the nipple that got to Kendall, but instead were other things. Weirdly, I had little nerves, and I think it was because my shoes were relatively flat, she said of the ankle boots. They weren't some big tall heels. Other than that, freeing the nipple arguably gave Kendall a career boost, as after that, she's modeled for almost every huge fashion house such as Versace, Dior, Givenchy, and even Chanel. So yeah, this was the story about Kendall Jenner freeing her nipples, and also gaining autonomy over her body like a strong, independent woman.